I know a lot of people that sign up for a lot of courses, they join masterminds and retreats because they think this knowledge is productive. They think this learning is productive. It's only productive if you actually put it to use. Hey, it's Renee. Welcome to the Into the Wild Show, the podcast for women who want to build incredible mental strength to level up their business and lifestyle. I'm Renee Warren, the founder of We Wild Women, author, speaker, award-winning entrepreneur, and your host. Together, we will make you unapologetic about shining your light, growing your business, and turning you into a wildly confident and successful leader. This is for you, the visionary, the go-getter, the entrepreneur, and for those that need a real kick in the butt to get going and to dream bigger. Each week, I bring in leading experts and entrepreneurs to help you take leaps in the right direction, because I know the best advice comes from someone who has successfully done it before. So, are you ready to level up? Welcome to Into the Wild. Hey, you wild women. I know it's that time of year, jumping into the end of the end of the first month of Q2. So essentially we're 1/3 the way done the second quarter of the year. And it's funny how we always put things into perspective in terms of business progress by dates and times, but we have to benchmark against something, right? And I know when we look at this, it's like April 27th at the time of this recording. And I think to myself, of all the things I've accomplished this year is actually a lot. It's incredible. But if I also step back, I think of all the things I still have yet to do. And so sometimes these emotions come up and we just feel so defeated because we think we should have done more. The reality is with business is everything takes so much longer than anticipated, especially if we have big dreams and big visions. And one of the things that I've noticed, especially with the women that I've coached in the past and some women that I coach now, but even with a lot of my PR clients, is how we kind of drop off staying accountable to growing our business. Things might get easy. And when things get easy, some of us who have ADD or ADHD or are manifestors or creatives, we just start something new as opposed to going deeper into the things we know that actually work. Other people get overwhelmed because they've taken on way too much at the beginning of the year, or they're transitioning into the summer months. I spent the better part of an entire day setting my kids up for summer camps the other week. Today, I had a kid homesick from school, which is normal as a parent. If you're going through this right now, I see you. And sometimes it's really hard for us to stay accountable to these goals. The other thing I see too, far too often, is that women especially, they set these goals for their business that are so not attainable that they don't even try. And then other people set goals that are so easy, they accomplish them right away, and then they just stop. And other people set goals that they don't measure, so they have no clue where they are in the mix of things. I've been in it and I'm in it now with some things too. I get it. Over the course of the last year, I had a chance to really reflect back on the things I've done in my business to really see what were the needle moving activities. There were some things I signed up to that were shiny objects. At the time, they seemed like really great ideas, like going to speak at certain events or partnering for a certain webinar. And sometimes we don't know it's not a good idea until we actually go through it, right? So don't doubt yourself and don't feel mad at yourself if you sign up for too much. But just know at the end of the day is you really do have to be accountable to yourself. Now, in my previous agency, I had a co-founder. She was 50-50, which for me was great motivation to actually stay motivated because there was somebody else I was being accountable for as well as my team. Now I have a team. And if I'm not showing up to do my work efficiently, I don't get paid. And if I don't get paid, my team doesn't get paid. So find ways to hold yourself accountable will help you grow your business. And I have 10 of them. These things have helped me over the years as an entrepreneur. The first one, and maybe the obvious one, is to measure growth, keeping track of your performance and gauging success. So every single freelancer, contractor, employee, they're measuring their work towards something. They need to know what the end goal is, whether it's a financial goal or a project goal or a timeline thing. They need to know that their daily actions are chipping away at the goal that they're working towards. So you have to measure your progress. So some things happen in business, unexpected things happen, and you need to have that contingency plan to be able to overcome those issues. And if you're measuring your growth, then you can quickly see over time what's working, what doesn't, what things you need to let go of, and what things you really need to drill down on. Number 2 is to set deadlines, really set deadlines. And when you have a task, you write it down in the morning or you put it in your project management system. Also put it into your calendar, because your calendar is what really tells me a lot about you, right? If you show me your calendar now, I bet you I can figure out a lot what's going on in your life. There's some people that love just packing meetings back to back to back to back and get it all done. And that's not me. And there's others that need the grace between certain meetings. I always try to have the same sort of tasks on the same days because, it requires different brain power, different creative capacity. But if I'm not setting deadlines against anything, I just won't achieve it. And I work best against deadlines. So, hey, you want me to do a task? That's great. When is it due? When I had my agency, and actually with some of my contractors now, if I delegate a task, at the bottom of the email, I'll highlight it in yellow, this is due by this date. Because then if somebody is smart enough, which your team is, they'll know how to prioritize their tasks and the flow of their work based on what you've just delegated them. And you need to do this for yourself too. You have to set sustainable, realistic deadlines in order to be able to achieve your goals. And I have, like I've said before, the morning practice planner. It's a great morning planner I use all the time to help me lay out my priority tasks and my 3 main tasks for the day and setting deadlines as to when these things will be accomplished during the day, hoping that nothing has to roll over to the next day. Number 3, take responsibility. I hate the victims. There's a lot of people out there that play the victim card all the time, and those people will never grow. They will be stuck in the same vicious cycle over and over and over again. If this is you, take responsibility. Take ownership of your mistakes. Take ownership of the fact that you aren't accountable, and then move forward, right? Not only does this show character, but it also helps prevent issues from happening again in the future. If something doesn't go as planned, then you have to take responsibility. The CEO of the company is responsible for everything that happens within the organization, whether or not they're the ones that made the mistake, or they're also the ones that have to share the success as the team works together to achieve those goals. So, number 4 is ask for help. Contrary to what other people might tell you, no one can expect you to do everything all the time. If you're a mother especially, you think, oh my gosh, this is up to me to do it all. No, you cannot do it all. You have to ask for help. My husband has a great book called Buy Back Your Time, and he talks all about delegation and how to figure out which tasks and stuff you should be delegating and to whom. I encourage you to go check it out, Buy Back Your Time, but always ask for help. This could be help in the household, help in the business, help on a certain activity. If you're really, really, really good at a certain part of a task and somebody else is really good at the other part, then you should figure out a way to delegate because you can't do it all. And if you think you can, eventually you're going to burn out or you're going to screw it up and their whole business is going to go burn to the ground. You don't want that. So I always encourage people to ask for help. And on that same vein is ask for what you want. Right? The more you can ask for something with conviction, the more likely it is a person on the other end will say yes. People want to help. That's the thing, is people genuinely want to help. People genuinely want to see you succeed. People actually feel honored when somebody asks to be helped. So ask for help. The 5th thing is make decisions quickly. Make decisions quickly. I'm going to quote Jim Rohn here. He says, you cannot make progress without making decisions, right? So part of growing a business is making a ton of decisions. And I know a lot of people that get stuck in the same level of their business. They can't get past 50,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 because they're terrible decision makers. Terrible. In my morning practice planner, there is an exercise near the beginning where I teach you how to make decisions. Right? There's 3 decision-making functions in your body. There's the head, which is the knowledge, the thing like numbers, right? The number crunching. Then there's the heart, which is the emotion. Then there's the gut, which is the intuition, right? So the head thinks is the logic. That's the word I was looking for. The head is the logical place. Can we afford this thing? What time should we leave? Can we squeeze this meeting in? The heart is the emotional thing. Like, does this person deserve a raise? Or should I go on vacation? Or should I launch a new planner because it's a passion product I want to be doing. And then there's the gut, which is the intuition. I actually published a really great quote today that says, the gut never overthinks, right? So your intuition never overthinks. That's feeling in your stomach when you need to make a decision that's either so powerful yes or so powerful no is actually the right answer, right? So make decisions quickly and then own the decision. If you said, you know what, tonight we're having pizza, guys, and even though there's part of you that doesn't feel like having pizza, but that's the decision, then own it. Like, go make the pizza and don't let anybody else try to convince you they want spaghetti or they want burgers or whatever. Own the decision. And then once you make that decision, number 6 is to take action. This year, 2023, is a year that I have not subscribed, signed up for any mastermind or coaching or courses or anything. That was my last year. I did a lot of that. This is the year of implementation. This is my year of taking actions now. The one thing I am doing is I'm going to a lot of in-person events, which, by proxy, I'm going to learn something, but my sole focus is on meeting new people, expanding my network. So my taking action year is actually implementing everything I learned last year and putting those wheels in motion. And I can tell you that more you take action, the faster things grow. I know a lot of people that sign up for a lot of courses, they join masterminds and retreats because they think this knowledge is productive. They think this learning is productive. It's only productive if you actually put it to use, if you integrate that information. So take action. Number 7 is learn from your mistakes. The best lesson in life are mistakes. You don't necessarily learn unless you've made a mistake. You don't learn to walk without falling. Falling is part of learning how to walk. And maybe it's not a mistake, but it could be a mistake. But then you just learn how not to do it again next time, right? So learn to make mistakes, learn from mistakes, make mistakes early, do them often, and learn from them. Hold yourself accountable is number 8. Even in difficult times, accountability is key for any budding or established entrepreneur. Don't forget that ultimately you are responsible for running your own business successfully, nobody else. This is your baby. Doesn't matter if you bring in a partner, if you sell the business, whatever it is, if you're still involved, you have to hold yourself accountable. And this is why if you're a solo CEO, you're also probably the solo CFO and the solo CMO. You have to take responsibility for all those roles. I have a financial meeting with myself every Friday because I don't have a CFO in this business. I am the CFO. So I have to hold myself accountable to achieving my financial objectives that I set out at the beginning of the year. Things shift, yes, things happen, good things happen, bad things happen. That's to me to course correct when that stuff happens. So I hold myself accountable. The best way to do it is find a buddy and get on a call every week or every other week. My friend Manya and I meet every other Friday and for free. She's a good friend with the same level in business. We have the same issues, the same problems in family life as mothers and whatnot. And we come together every other week and we just hold each other accountable. No sugarcoating anything, straight to the point. Why didn't you do that? You said you were going to do this last week. You didn't get it done. We have an agenda. We chat for maybe an hour. We get it done, right? And we ask help. We ask questions. We encourage each other. So find a buddy and have those meetings. Let me tell you, it is so much fun. Number 9 is delegate when possible. Delegate when possible. I know this is take responsibility. Where was the other one I talked about this? Asking for help. Yes. So asking for help, yes, and delegating when possible. So delegating when possible isn't something that it's just, if you can delegate it just this one time, that'll help you just this week. No, I'm talking about long-term strategy and delegation. I am in the process of revamping and ramping up my VIP day. And this ramping up is actually creating the processes and the system so that I extract myself completely from the program. I can sell it because I've created it after all these years of doing PR and marketing. But the whole point is that I can delegate the process to somebody on my team so that they do it just as good, if not better than me. And so that I can go and sell more of these so that I can grow my business. Because if I'm in it doing the work, I won't be able to grow my business. And so I have to delegate, which means trusting people a lot to get the work done. So where in your business can you delegate? And I'm sure if you took 10 seconds right now and if you're not driving, write it down, take a pen and paper out, write down 10 things you know you should not be focusing on right now. Dan's book, Buy Back Your Time, is a great example Also, I love Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, I think is his name, where he talks about the queen bee role. So go check out those books. I'll put them in the show notes. And the last one, which is arguably the most important one, which we don't do enough, is because we're all very humbled, is to celebrate our wins. No matter how big or small, every day, every week, celebrate your wins. Every Wednesday, my husband and I come together for our weekly couples meeting and we just chat for about 25, 30 minutes. We go through an agenda because I'm the CEO of the household. He's the CFO of the household. The first thing we start is, what were your 3 wins for the week? Sometimes I have to sit there and ponder and reflect, but let me tell you, beautiful things come up. And it could be as simple as, I loved hanging out with Max this morning, like with my son. You know those little plastic things that you put on like a little pegboard and then you iron it out after and it makes these like things that you can hang. Well, he bought this massive one. It's a Super Mario one. And he's the kind of kid that like when you get the Lego box, he has to put the whole thing together in one shot. And he'll just stay there until his eyes are bleeding to get it done. And he bought this massive Super Mario figure and it's going to take a couple days to get it done. But this morning he was like, Mama, can you just sit with me for 15 minutes and help? And I was like, mornings are my most creative and productive time. I was like, you know what, honey, for sure. And let me tell you, sitting there, putting those things in was not only like a meditative state, but it was so cool hanging out with him. And he was encouraging me. He's like, Mama, you're so good at this. Wow. That was a win for me. That was probably the best time of my day. I loved it. So take those moments to celebrate your wins because wherever stage you are in your business, you're just starting out or you're passing $1 million, there's always something to celebrate. So remember, the top 10 ways to stay more accountable to growing your business is to measure your growth, set deadlines, take responsibility, ask for help, make decisions quickly, take action, learn from mistakes, hold yourself accountable, delegate when possible, and celebrate your wins. Until next time. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Into the Wild. To make this girl happy and to help reach other women who are dreaming of starting their business, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and everywhere you listen in. Also, if you want to find me in the wild, check me out on Instagram at Renee_Warren. That's RENEE_WARREN. And leaving you with one of my favorite tips of all time, the best advice you could ever receive is from someone who has successfully done it before you. Until next time, ladies, peace out.